That one's never going to get old, or is it? This one's never going to get old either. Ryan Clark with us to break down what was supposed to be Dallas's day. You had one job. Let's take you there. Dallas, you just beat the Eagles, and you win the division for a second straight year. This was supposed to be the most important game of Carson Wentz's career. How did he start early on to you? We pick it up in the first quarter. Eagles leading 3-0. Carson Wentz here just swings it out to Miles Sanders.
Carson Wentz came out like the guy he was drafted number 2 overall to be. And he came out to earn that 110 guaranteed.
And a couple of plays later, he connects. Listen, maybe ill-advised to some, but he put that thing on a road.
Now listen, it was an out and up by Goddard. This is a great throw. Jordan Lewis undercuts it, but he throws it right over the top of him to his bigger tight end.
So Wentz starts out 9 for 11, 107 yards and a touchdown. On the other side, we had the Cowboys trailing. Ezekiel Elliott here runs for a gain of 8 yards. This would be significant because he asked to come out of the game. Why is that significant, Ryan Clark? Because a couple of plays later, with him on the sidelines, Tony Pollard, well, he does this.
Listen, it's an ill-advised call, though. You run the option with your injured quarterback. You give it to your backup running back. He not only doesn't get it, he's hit and he spits the pill.
He fumbles the ball. I didn't know that Zeke would need a breather after an 8-yard run, but again, there's a lot of revisionist history happening here. Later in the third, Cowboys 3rd and 11. Prescott here. Amari Cooper's wide open. What happened?
Listen, this is a bad throw. He didn't get the reps throughout the week, and we saw some of those things show up. There were also some drops in the game.
He didn't get the reps because he did have that shoulder soreness. You mentioned it, though. He said it didn't affect him and that maybe rust did affect him. How about Wentz here, again connecting and again coming up huge with Greg Ward Jr.?
Well, now you have Malcolm Smith on the field. This guy was just picked up by the Dallas Cowboys. He doesn't run with the wheel route, and the ex-quarterback makes a huge catch.
Phillies had to win on the final drive for the last 2 games coming into this game. Firmly in control in this one, so they're up 17-6. Jerry Jones not exactly happy in the booth. That would continue. To the 4th we go. 2nd and 4 for Dallas. Prescott drops back. He's dragged down by Vinny Curry for a loss of 4, and then a play later, he's looking for Amari Cooper again, and yet again, they can't connect, RC.
Listen, they just didn't have it last night, and Amari Cooper said he thought that the go routes would be available. We didn't see a lot of those, and Dak just wasn't accurate down the field.
I mentioned some of those substitutions. That's Amari Cooper, right, on the sidelines after being subbed out. Dak's going to throw this up there for Michael Gallup, but Sidney Jones there breaks it up. Catchable?
First of all, it makes total sense. You give up a first-round pick for a dude, he kills the Eagles, you have him on the sideline, not drinking water when you throw the 50-50 ball. That is excellent coaching.
Look, Cooper afterwards would say, I don't know what happened and why I wasn't in there, but the Eagles end up winning this one 17-9. Jerry Jones has seen enough.
He was leaving?
He's gone. He's out. But as for Wentz's team, they knew they could do it.
We've had our backs against the wall for a while now, and you can see the sense of belief that each of these guys have, and you see it each week with them getting better and better, and believing in themselves and believing in this team.
It's really hard to forget all that's been said about this team in this locker room, all of the boos that we've heard so far this year, and that stuff doesn't go away. So we understand that we really draw on each other and the guys in this team trying to make something memorable out of this season. And we got one more week.
All right, so there you go. Carson Wentz showed up to play and put the Eagles in the driver's seat in the NFC East. Philly can take the division next week with a road win against the Giants. Cowboys are still alive, but they need some help. They need a win at home against the Redskins and an Eagles loss to the Giants. FPI gives the Eagles a 74% chance of winning the division. Both teams, Cowboys and Eagles, up and down. The Eagles more up. So, Ryan, try to do me a favor and put their performance into perspective for us.
Well, I'm going to say this about the Eagles. This is Carson Wentz's Super Bowl run. We go back to the last 2 years, and Nick Foles was the quarterback of this team when they made the run to the playoffs, won the Super Bowl, and the next year, the run getting in the playoffs and getting to the second round. And so to watch this team with Carson Wentz, you have a game against the New York Giants, you have to win. He comes back late in that game. And against the Washington Redskins, he's dang near perfect in the final drive to take the lead and win the game. And you come out against Dallas, you're outmanned, you're depleted offensively, you get this team to rally, play energized ball, but you also perform. Over 300 yards, 30 completions. Carson Wentz showed that he was the man that they drafted. He's also the man they gave the extension to. And this team shouldn't win in the playoffs. This team might not even win this week, but Carson Wentz is showing that he is that guy for the Eagles, and for the foreseeable future, they have their man.
How the storylines change. Meanwhile, let's talk about the Cowboys, shall we? When it mattered most, the Cowboys offense didn't show up. They just scored 9 points, tied for the fewest this season, okay? And then what about this? Second worst time of possession and fewest rush attempts in a game this season. Zeke had 13 carries for 47 yards. I mean, we've been asking that question all year long. All around, it was a bad day for Jason Garrett and the boys. Here's what they had to say about the Big Fat Ale.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get the job done, and we all have to own it. I have to own it. The coaching staff has to own it. All the players and staff members have to own it and give the Eagles credit. And now we have to go forward. Unfortunately, we don't control our destiny anymore, but we do control our opportunity.
That's not any position anybody wants to be on when they're having to depend on someone else, but we put ourselves in this position. It's disappointing and frustrating.
We all expected to leave here as the NFC's champs. We're not. A disappointing setback for that locker room and for all of us, and I know it is for the fans. That's it.
Brandon Graham in the Eagles locker room yelled at, I guess Jason Garrett's going to have to take an Uber home. It's the kind of petty that I love.
He also said a name before that, though.
Oh, did he?
He said Ryan Clark. Yeah, cause last week I was on Get Up, and I said, well, if the Cowboys lose this game, that Jason Garrett should have to take an Uber. Okay. He should have to go to the ticket counter and go commercial home. He shouldn't get on the flight. Guess what? The flight wouldn't take off last night.
I know.
You know why? Because the plane said, I heard RC, and Jason Garrett doesn't deserve to be on it. And I think I should be flattered that Brandon Graham said my name when he was walking down the tunnel, but it's 100% the truth. When you play this way, L, and you have this opportunity and this roster, and so many people on your team are that rich, you have to win the game against a team that's playing with ex-quarterbacks as wide receivers and running backs that were on the practice squad when the season started.
Yeah, you're absolutely right in that, like, this whole entire time we've been at least able to say with a Cowboys team that hasn't been very good, they control their own destiny.
Yes.
They no longer control their own destiny, and I do think the symbolism there is funny for a team that's had a failure to launch, so they couldn't actually launch their plane.
Gosh.
Hey, see what I did there? You know what I mean? Let me just do that segue thing. Ryan Clark coming back to sling more hot fire.
All right, folks. So the turnover chain in college football is something a player should value. But in the case of the Los Angeles Lakers, it's a concerning